update for August 2020, or September? I don't remember what month it is. No.
We're in August.
Yeah, we're in August. How are y'all doing? I hope you guys have been good. I feel like I just talked to you moments ago, so it's weird.
There we go. I'm testing some sound
We're
levels,
doing
boys.
great, I think.
I'm testing some sound levels and making sure that they're all
good.
right.
Excited to
Whilst we're playing the YouTube video. But boys, welcome in. How we doing? How we doing?
Got a lot of stuff to
We
show.
like I said, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna be catching up on the live dev. Well, it's not live now, but you know it was live like 2 days ago. The dev update, which also shows some of the hybrid combat footage. Nick and Innuendo and anybody else who jumped in nice and early. So we're gonna be looking at a bit of that. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we can bang out another it's sort of like a YouTube video, see if we can get some more on that as well. And boys, yeah, you know, we'll see what the update is. We'll see what they can show us. Obviously it's been like a month, sort of like a month and maybe like 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks since we got the last update. So hopefully we get some good footage here. Do you know what I mean? Again, this game's still gonna be a while out, so we're not expecting like finished game content, obviously, but it'd be nice to see if we get, you know, 15-20 minutes of some action. I think that'd be pretty good. We'll do a little chill watch along. So if you've got any questions about the game as and when it's going as well, we'll fire through them.
Yeah, so I'll kind of go over what we'll be covering today, and then we'll get right into it. So we have lower thirds now because people kept asking who we are, so there you go. But it's not about us, it's about Ashes of Creation. So here we go. Today's update, we'll have a studio update from Steven. We did announce some stuff with My Games, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they changed like how the way the server's going to work, right, for releases or something.
In-game footage, actually 2 videos for you this time around.
2 videos? Let's go.
And environment art update as well. Which
okay.
From that end, and a character update with another video.
No. I'll do that later.
And then we'll go into our Q&A, which we've got.
What do you want, Nick?
We'll probably get through 10 of them.
Do not fucking screenshot that, Nick. Do not screenshot that.
We did get a lot of questions in the forum thread, so thank you so much for putting those in there. I know Toasty's going to try her darndest to answer as many.
Also, I'm not on full screen
because there were a
Nick,
lot
if you want like thumbnails, I don't even know. You'd need me on a bigger screen, right? Too late. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't. Do not put that in the thumb.
In there as well.
Do not put that in the thumbnail, Nick.
So for quick updates, I'm just gonna quick show those. We have our next dev discussion. So our next dev discussion is coming up in September. Stay tuned for it. All I'm gonna give you is a sneak preview of immersion is gonna be the topic. Get ready for that. We are compiling the dev discussion from the previous one, so I think that report already went out to the design team, correct, Jeff?
I sure did.
We also have a sweet coloring book for you guys. If you check out our ashesofcreation.com/news, which also is a great place to
you're
get
gonna buy me the coloring book for Christmas?
There, even our live streams. I've now started uploading those as well. So everything's up there. We will be getting a fresh new look to that page too someday. So stay tuned. I'm really excited.
By the way, 100%. I just wanted to chime in. The participation that you guys out in the community have had in the dev discussions is very appreciated. It's really great to see different, opinions and comments and experiences and all of those things.
See, like I actually really do think these guys listen and watch and all the different things out there, because pretty much every sort of like big streamer or big discussion on the last updates that we've seen about a month ago all said this game might hinge on its combat system, because it's not just 100% tab targeting. It's sort of 75% to 25%. Well, we call it hybrid if you want, with also some like click and action combat. And literally, they're now going to show us some hybrid combat footage in the very next dev update. I think this is pretty smart by them. I think this is pretty good.
Things kind of go to further reinforce, a lot of the design decisions that we've made with Ashes of Creation, and it's very beneficial for the team to kind of get that very eclectic, view from a lot of you guys as players. And please don't stop participating in those discussions. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah, and Toast does a great job of like thoroughly going through every single comment. So don't worry, like you're getting heard. And sometimes like the example ones that she provides for the links for the dev team are like, it gets really long because there's been so many conversations happening with that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you sometimes think you understand what the audience wants, but actually hearing it, directly in an organized way really helps to, laser focus us and get us on the right track. So
true.
Yeah, keep it coming.
True. That's our first true of the video, boys, by the way.
And of course, those are up on the page for the coloring book if you want to participate. We've seen a lot of folks posting those, so that it's been really awesome seeing that.
Wait, can you actually buy these?
And we have our next cosmetic. We always tell you whenever the swap over is on the news post, so definitely stay tuned for that. But our swap over will be September 2nd, 2020 at 11 a.m. Pacific, as noted in the article. So do keep a note of that if you're interested in the boons of the Waveborn goodies.
Unless it's just like downloads. I don't know. I don't see it on the store.
And we also have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying I wanted the snail.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say
I have those, by the way, guys. What you just seen on
Steven got
on there. I have those.
People are really funny because they're messaging me like,
Nick, no.
Oh, no Martha,
wait, guys. Nick, no. No, Nick. No. How do you do this so quick? How do you we can't have this as the next thumbnail. We cannot have this as the next thumbnail. There's no way. This is gonna be me and Leeds. You know what I mean? This is gonna be me and Leeds on the weekend, boys. You're gonna see this. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see this. Please. You know, I'll use it. I mean, I have no choice, Nick. You know me. I can't make graphics, so I literally have no choice.
Get mad at Steven for sharing.
But if you make that the thumbnail,
I'm never mad at Steven. Don't
stuck.
worry, guys.
That's true. She beats me.
That's true.
Don't say that. People are gonna really think I do that.
I'm blinking twice.
You're going to the closet.
God damn it, Nick.
I really had fun with that next set that's coming up. If you're interested in like fire elemental goodies and stuff like that. So yeah. And then the last thing on there, I believe, is the pandemic statue, which is this bad boy. It looks amazing. So as long as you've registered before that date, I believe it was in September. I'll have to double check that date. But yeah.
Do we have one that can be replaced, Nick?
If you're already registered, you're good.
We could replace
without
Zesty.
further ado, I think we're just gonna go right into the studio update. If you want
Do
to
it,
take
Nick.
that away,
Do it.
Steven.
Absolutely.
Am I too quiet? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. Am I too quiet?
You sound fine to me.
Everyone's
but-
level for me.
Before we go any further, for anybody who is actually listening in right now, you can hear the
People have to
YouTube video,
turn
right?
up their-
Um,
I can
yeah.
adjust though.
All right, just to give a little studio update, we are a good ways through our hiring, our current hiring phase. We had listed 24 positions, but I believe as of yesterday, we are at 16 of those 24 positions have been filled over the past 5 weeks. So we're very appreciative of you guys helping to kind of spread the word for the studio, for our hiring goals. It's been very helpful. We've had a tremendous flow of
hopefully the staff that they bring in are literally on point and just get straight into it. You know what I mean?
Studio, very passionate and excited about the project, and that's always great for us as a company, as a team, to get that influx of passionate, very talented developers. We're very appreciative of that. So we will have additional rounds of hiring in the future, in the near future, actually. And if you did not, make it through to the final stage of the process, for those of you who have applied, keep your chin up. There will be additional opportunities in the future. So we're very, very happy about that.
Yeah, just the design candidates have been just amazing, and so it's been really hard to kind of really separate the top tier guys from below. So if you haven't gotten an offer, you haven't talked to Steven yet, like hold on tight because there's just so many of you.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with audio, so I think you guys just need to project.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can project.
I don't want to blow people's ears
Everyone
out.
was like, "It's better." I'm like, "I didn't do anything." But go ahead,
So then
Steven.
to further elaborate on the studio update, as was announced previously, due to COVID, we're still working from home. The hopes were that we would be in the new office by this month and or next month. Unfortunately, as I've announced previously, it's likely not going to be until the beginning of the new year. There was an opportunity perhaps.
Is
for
this going to
us
slow
move into
down
new
the
studio
game?
come
I'd like to
November
know.
Or December timeframe. However, with the release of the initial Alpha 1 being at the end of this year, I figured that would just be too much potential for disruption within the studio to orchestrate not only the release of the Alpha 1 client, but
Okay,
also,
Alpha 1's still definitely coming this year. Good.
So we're going to be postponing that until the start of the next year. We also made an announcement with regards to the publishing of Ashes of Creation. Intrepid Studios has opened a entity within the Netherlands, within Amsterdam. We are hiring currently for the office that will be in Amsterdam. Those positions at the moment are going to be remote. So if you know any good European community management and or marketing teams or developers that you like, take a look at the positions that are open for the EU region. And
I wish I could still work from home. I have to go back into the office now. Sad times.
And it's going to be fun to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it'll be fun for me too, because a lot of that is handled on my team's side. So we'll have fun doing a lot of cool stuff on that front.
Absolutely. So that's the development. Otherwise, is moving along rapidly as usual. We did in the studio just update from 4.23 Unreal Engine 4 to 4.25. It did introduce some bugs, but we are in the middle of squashing them. The team's doing a great job in doing that. We'd like to obviously stay up to date as much as possible with the new engine versions that come out, and that's always a little bit of a process when we do that. Migration. So things are looking good. Things are going well.
Did you want to talk more on that migration front at all?
I gotta say, like, it's fun to like always play with the new tools that we get in the new releases.
So how would this work then? With this Unreal Engine 4 then?
There's a lot of
when the game is released and live,
integrate and figure out.
Are they gonna have these bugs when they get Unreal update and Unreal Engine updates? Is that gonna work? How's that gonna work?
Because of these lower thirds.
Yeah, the lower thirds. It's because your camera's zoomed in like real close to your face.
Gotcha.
Compared to everybody else.
But to kind of further a little bit elaborate on that, 4.25 did have a lot of changes from an art perspective as well, and a lot of our artists are very, very happy with what's come along in the latest update. So that's always great to see too. And by the way, I know Margaret announced, but we do have, I believe we have 3 videos, not just 2, right?
3.
Yeah,
let's go, boys. 3 videos.
Design and 1 for character.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you don't have anything else to add for studio update stuff, we'll move on to our next thing. But obviously, if you have any questions about the My Games stuff, definitely check out our FAQ. It's on our website on the news section. It's also in our forum, links from our forums too. So we've also linked it to all our social media. So definitely go check that out if you have any questions. We'll have further information on the migration front coming out soon. So stay tuned to that. And yeah. We're excited for all the new folks that are joining our team. So moving on, we're going to play a video because we're going to move on to our design section.
This is what we want to see, boys. This is what we want to see.
Talk about the hybrid combat. We know that folks have been asking a lot about this.
We have.
Obviously, a reminder that we're in like early stages of things on this front, but it should give you kind of like a good feel for it. And then we'll grab a couple questions and we'll answer those, and then we'll move into our next stuff, our next segment.
Just to preface this video, guys, again, I always want to emphasize that the UI that you're going to see here is placeholder. Not a lot, there's still a lot of polish that's necessary and optimization. This is a very initial implementation of the hybrid combat, but just wanted to give you an idea of what's going to be experienced in Alpha 1 and how we'll
I wish I was in Alpha 1 so bad. I've now bought into the game with the $250 package. So I will get into Alpha 2, which I'm hoping is early to mid next year. I'm hoping. 10-minute video? Oh, boys. Hey, 10-minute video. This one, I think they literally said is the action combat. So let's see. Straight away, though, looking at it, this is similar to what we've already seen. So I think you've got your level cap bar at the bottom here, which is standard, right? It's going to be in like a slightly weird thingy because I think they filmed these in 4K. Looks like Q will most probably be weapon switch, or at least toggle what weapon you're on. Shift up here could be, I don't know, maybe some form of secondary skills, possibly. Do we have any items in here? Maybe, I don't even know. But definitely like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6. They definitely all look like they definitely look like skills. Okay, I'm just trying to see what we can see. Obviously, you got your health and mana bar at the top, but I mean, I don't mind this layout. The only thing I would say here is it's a lot more closer to say like a Guild Wars 1 and 2. Compared to say a World of Warcraft or a Lord of the Rings Online, where you get like a million things to tick. Dan, welcome in, man. Welcome in. So like the UI is definitely also not necessarily the UI, but the amount of available skills to you is definitely more like a Guild Wars 1 and 2. Do you know what I mean? Compared to say a World of Warcraft or a Lord of the Rings Online. There's gonna be less skills to press by the looks of it. Maybe you're gonna have like builds. Innuendo says true. Maybe you're gonna have like builds like so So you'd have, I'm guessing, maybe you'll have like different combinations of builds that have to fit within your 8, 9, maybe 10 different skill buttons. You know what I mean? But yeah, Dan, things are going well, man. Things are going well.
Everybody, welcome to another video in Ashes of Creation. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the hybrid combat system that's currently kind of first pass, early iteration of integrating the action components along with the tab targeting.
Yo, Gary, welcome in.
Type component. So before we kind of take a look at this stuff, I just want to reiterate that this is the early look at Alpha 1. It is the preview. And you know, a lot of the systems are very first pass, and you know, it's up to the testers that we're going to have present in the different phases of alpha and beta, kind of helping us to fine-tune and iterate upon these implementations. So you know, one of the most important things to keep in mind as you're watching this stuff is that you know, a lot of the art, while it looks, you know, great, we have an amazing artist team, but a lot of the art is first pass, including especially the UI. So keep that in mind. A lot of this UI is placeholder and will be further fleshed out as we get more along in the project. So talking a little bit about the hybrid combat system. Let's take a look at the
what's going on here? Hang on a minute. So trees are standard in most MMOs nowadays. Do you have a passive tree? Wait, is this even a tree, or is this just total available? So in your skills, you've got passive, obviously active, and weapon. So specific weapon skills, I presume you're gonna get like axe skills, bow skills, staff skills. That sounds okay. That's fine. That's actually pretty cool. Your active skills, I mean, these could be anything. Depending on your class, this literally could be anything. Do you know what I mean? And then passive skills. I want to see passive skills. I want to see what kind of potential passive skills you're gonna have. Are you gonna have like plus agility, plus speeds, plus, I mean, you know what I mean, toxic resistance, fire resistance? What are you gonna have in your passive? I don't know. I want to see. But this is pretty basic so far. All I'd say here is there's not many per one. Do you know what I mean? So active, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have 9, and that doesn't seem like a lot. But then, is it a combination of 9 and then you've got your 7, 8 of weapon skills? Then there's a bit of a combination there. Do you get more in here when you've got 2 different classes assigned, your primary and your secondary? Mate, we need to find this out. But let's have a look. Hey, no, we're doing good, Gary. I've been in work all day, but we're watching a Ashes of Creation dev update video. They're showing us about the combat, which is one of the most anticipated things in this game, because it's not going to be pure tab targeting. Everybody, I think, who's interested in this game wants to see what this is going to be about. Let's have a look.
Skill system. So this is where players allocate skill points into their different either active skills, their passive abilities, which can augment their usage of weapons and armors, and their health regeneration and passive stats. And
that's pretty much what we thought it was going to be.
On the weapon side of things, you know, that's where you will spec into certain types of procs based off of weapon groupings. So, you know, we talked a little bit about this in the past. If you have a dagger, daggers might have a chance to proc a bleed on your weapon attack, and that would synergize with an active skills ability, like let's say backstab, that does additional damage if the target is under a bleed effect.
Okay. I like that idea.
Now, we've said in the past that players will be able to allocate skill points into their active skills that are more geared towards either action combat or tab targeting. And, you know, as an example, you can kind of see, you know, these skills can have additional points allocated to them to unlock further features. Some of them can be tabbed to start and become action if you allocate additional skill points. And this is one of the ways that we kind of balance the skills between action and tab targeting, you know, requiring additional skill points in order to unlock certain features of that skill, and then it becomes a tab or an action type skill. So what I'd like to show you.
So wait, the same skill can be both tab and action?
Find, some monsters.
What?
We can look for something nearby. Okay, here we go. We got some macaws. Oh, macaws and a raptor. So, let me dismount here. One of the things I'm going to show you is essentially the weapon attack. So you see on the queue down here, we have it's a Silver Guardian weapon. That's cool. Okay. So this is a rare,
guys,
level
Steve doesn't
10
know what weapon he's got.
It's not too bad. But these guys I think are low. They're like level 1. As you can see, I'm currently in the tab mode, essentially. Oh,
How do you know that you're in tab mode?
It's going to be sad if I have to kill it. Wow, he's really moving. This thing's pathing all over the place. I can click and I can target. I can tab target if I want to. So tab between that. So this is the traditional kind of tab targeting. I can, my camera movement is not tied to my cursor. I can kind of look around and do kind of stuff like that. I can look at my cool silver sword. Yeah.
I mean, he does look pretty
Players
sick.
can very easily transition between tab targeting and action combat. By pressing Z, I now tie my cursor movement to my camera.
Okay.
And additionally,
Guild Wars 2 has a mode like this.
Now, like I said previously, the UI here is relatively rudimentary and very early. But essentially, as I hover over targets with this reticle, I will get indicators through color and highlights on the reticle that will tell me essentially either distance to the target, whether or not a skill that I might have prepped could hit the target from this distance. I can left click and tab target a target currently. Now we'll change that to be right click. Right now it's left click, but it should be right click. And additionally, I can, when targeting an enemy this way, I can utilize my tab targeting skills.
What was he using there?
I'll
Like
try
auto
to
attack?
Hook this dude. Come on over, little buddy. And my left click will attack.
So that's the auto attack, right? Left click is like auto attack.
Kind of.
That's gonna be like weapon damage, right?
Another important thing to note, let's see if we can get a few of these guys, is that all weapons have a forward cone to some degree. Based on the weapon type, it'll change.
What?
Pole arms, for example, will have a much wider arc and much further out. Daggers will have a more fine-tuned arc, so you have to be more precise in that regard. So if I pull this sword, if I pull a few of these macaws, let's see if we can grab a few of them. Come on over, buddies. So we have a few macaws here, little buddies. I feel horrible, but you'll see as I attack, I'm hitting multiple numbers.
Okay.
And that's
quite standard. So like if you, like you said, if you got a pole arm or like a spear or something, do you know what I mean, or like a scimitar, you're gonna do more like weapon, almost like AOE. Okay.
Important because all weapons, regardless of if you're in reticle mode or tab targeting mode, you will be able to have a action-based type weapon attack, not active skill, but weapon attack.
Yeah, auto attack. Auto attack, right?
Pull this guy. So that's an important note. Weapons each have their own unique and individual.
Okay. Are you gonna
forward arcs?
Can you show us that auto attack?
Deal damage to a target.
In tab mode.
Let's see if we can go over here. And
please show us that.
Let me grab this little plant. What's up, buddy?
That's not combat. We don't want gathering here. Come on. Come on.
Should be some stuff here. Now, obviously, as I've said in the past,
I know in your window. I know you can't hear me.
Combat and tab are two very different tempos, and
that's what I want to know.
If we had to go through and
what is the tempo with the tab targeting one?
Not to be hybrid, I would lean more in favor of tab targeting with high mobility and a lot of template type attacks to kind of represent that more skill oriented combat.
Go kill that big mushroom thing.
But I think that through testing in alpha and beta, but especially alphas, that we will be able to fine-tune this so that it sits comfortably between the two different types of speeds, essentially.
Show us the tab targeting for auto attack.
Mushrooms.
Okay.
Another thing that's important about kind of these action combats is the ability to kind of dodge.
True. Yeah. No, literally, this is very right now. What I'm seeing is very similar to Guild Wars 2 / Elder Scrolls Online, which is fine.
Yeah, that's
as long as it's not too much Elder Scrolls Online. Show me the tab auto attack. That's what I want to see right now. Tab auto attack.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see players. Oh, here we go. It's going to be interesting to see essentially players kind of testing out this hybrid combat, seeing how it feels, getting an idea.
That looked okay. That looked fine.
Essentially, the balancing that's going to be required in hosting different types of CC effects across the different targeting methods, and iterating on this. And you guys are going to be a part of that every step of the way, giving great feedback as all of you do normally, which we appreciate on our Discord or forums or Reddit. It's always great to get kind of player feedback.
He's just using basic. Oh, I like the effects on some of these skills. I think they look nice.
So I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at the hybrid combat system, and feel free to leave some comments, and I will see you guys back on stream here.
It was pretty basic for the first video there. It was pretty basic. I'd have liked to have seen a step-by-step. Oh, sorry, not step-by-step. I would have liked to have seen a side-by-side. So where he's physically... Yo, Vuxpass, welcome in, man. Where he's physically using the sort of combat style, the active combat style, where he's like slashing away and stuff, click to slash. I'd then like to see him go to tab mode, and then tab standard attack or auto attack, whatever that was he was using. I would have liked to have seen those side-by-side to see what the difference was. That would have been pretty cool.
All right. So, with that, I feel like there's a lot of questions in chat that we've already answered quite a bit of in regards to blocking. Are there going to be more abilities than just the abilities that obviously they saw there?
True, Nick.
So
True. Same. I'd like the UI. The UI. Sorry, UII. The UI to stay quite basic.
A lot of those questions we've answered.
A bit like a bit like my stream. So like, slightly off topic, obviously. But if I was to go to say this scene and put display capture on, see the way I have like just the camera, total subs, and the rotating bar down here of all the information. Similar to that in the game, I want it to be as minimalistic as possible. So then you don't have a completely cluttered up mess of all things you're going to look at. The map looks quite good in the top right hand corner, where it's like the opacity is quite low, so you can almost see through the map. And then other than that, there's not a lot going on. You can even tab on the sides to bring out the quest menu bar to see what's going on in your active quest. I like that. You can have that on or off. I probably have it open most times, I'll be honest, unless I know exactly where I'm going. But then it's just nice. It's nice to have in an MMO where there's like a huge scenery. It's nice to have a big open screen to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I like that, Nick. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I get you. Minimap in the top right looked click almost as it blended into. Oh, it does. That's what I'm saying. Opacity. That's what I'm saying. The opacity was I don't know whether it's lower or higher, but lower opacity, so you can almost see through the map. It's not taking out the whole top right corner of your screen, which is pretty good. No, I like that. Use the tab and then run task manager and close the game. Wow, innuendo. There's no true there, son.
So keep that in mind,
yeah,
everybody.
I think one of the most important things is you guys are seeing that. We obviously the team loves to see the excitement, the the feedback about how great the game looks and all that kind of stuff. That's very important to us. But really, what the purpose is of going into these alpha phases is going to be is getting data, getting logs, getting. I
have a suggestion. I'm almost certain that obviously Steven here, who obviously clearly records these most if not all of these gameplay videos right now. I have one suggestion for him. Not that I think he will ever see this, right? But if he did, this is my one suggestion. Pick one person from the active Discord, okay? Anybody. When he's at home, presumably, recording this, have one person who is under NDA, who has access to Alpha 1 anyway, who's concurrently played the game, right? Who can then, like, be in a closed Discord channel with Steven, viewing the video he's creating, who can then type away some Discord chat messages to Steven whilst he's doing the recording. So for example, right, because then it will allow him to know exactly what more to explain in that video. So all I was shouting there was, can I see side by side what the auto attack would have looked like in tab targeting for presumably his number 1 auto attack skill next to the active combat style or the hybrid combat style, right? I could have, as an example, I could have asked him like in text chat. He could have been reading that, could have been silent, it wouldn't come across the video, and then he could have gone on to explain that. I would have liked to have seen that, do you know what I mean? Whereas obviously he's just playing it blind, if that kind of makes sense. So that's the only thing I would suggest about these videos. Have somebody live asking him questions, just one person, or it'll be too hectic.
Feeling feedback from the players, and there's a long way to go in making combat what it needs to be. I've said this in the past, you know, the design team knows this, we all know this. Combat is the most tactile system in the game. It's the thing you will experience most often. And outside of the systems and mechanics that are going to be present for kind of the overarching core gameplay loop, combat needs to feel responsive. It needs to not feel fluid.
Can we get some trues in the chat?
Mobile. It needs to be fluid. It needs to give a feeling of satisfaction. The audio components, the effects components, the animations themselves, the types of skills, and
there we go.
You know, those types of things. All of those are really kind of our objective in fine tuning the approach for our combat in Ashes of Creation. And I just want to make sure that you guys are aware, you know, as we go through these alphas, it's going to be rapidly changing. There might be several prototypes we attempt to play with the live audience. You know, that's the best way I think that we as a development team can yield a successful system in combat, is that type of iteration, that type of player involvement. Jeff?
Yeah, just getting that feedback from the players immediately. Like, that's one of the reasons why we've chosen to kind of expose ourselves this way rather than kind of waiting until we're about to launch to kind of let everybody know what we're planning on doing, right? Like, these are systems that combat specifically, where feel and flow is so important to how the game feels overall, and getting that feedback from you guys as you're playing it, you know, early on before we've really committed so far that we can't change it easily, is super important. So that's again like why we try to give you guys
a little bit innuendo
that's going on with our studio, so that we can make those decisions and change direction as rapidly.
His long lost American brother.
Yeah.
My lawnmower person just got here, so people might be hearing my gardener going off.
Did you call him your lawnmower person?
I don't know. Like,
right, listen, guys. I love this from Ashes of Creation. I love how open they are, and they do these videos and they keep us up to date. I really do. Tiny bit more. You know, I know you probably can't help this too much, but just a tiny bit more. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna hear lawnmower noises all the way through the rest of this video, it's gonna be slightly annoying, but hopefully we don't. But just a tiny bit more, you know what I'm saying? Maybe plan the lawnmower guy not to come round at this time. I don't know.
Just like I just heard it go up, and I'm like, oh no, the lawnmower is going off.
It's like a transformer.
Yeah, it does. It sounds. I don't know.
Also, by a.
But there were some questions regarding add-ons.
What's the opposite of a dynamic microphone?
We're not going to allow add-ons. We've talked about blocking. Before.
Condenser? No.
The other one that I saw consistently was.
Buy a dynamic microphone. Don't have a condenser.
And how many people will have access to.
Yeah, so the goal is not to overwhelm people with hotbars, right? And to make sure that we're making good decisions about like how many buttons you actually need to press to accomplish a thing. But with that being said, this is also a build-based game, so how many?
So it is build-based. It is okay. So the biggest thing in especially Guild Wars 1, I can't remember. You were limited to like I think it was like 8 skills maybe. And again, similar, you would be 2 classes. You would be like an elementalist and a monk, for example. That would open up all of the 2 sets of skills available to you. You would make a build, and you would match your armor depending on what style of build you want to do, glass cannon or whatever, you know. And so it's going to be build based. It's not going to be okay. Thank you. They basically confirmed it will be build based, which I don't mind because tactical wise, going into PvP. If you've got, for example, I'm not great at PvP, but I'd pick World of Warcraft. Like, Warlocks are pretty OP. If you get a maxed out gear wise, skill wise, player base wise, a maxed out warlock versus a maxed out warlock, right? Yeah, 1v1. There's not a lot in it. You know what I mean? There's not a lot in it to say who wins. Maybe bar the person who can click the buttons faster in the right rotation. That's the only way you win if you've got two characters the same. But if it's build based, you've not only got the fact of who's geared best, who's more experienced, who's more composed when they're actually doing PvP. You know what I mean? You've then got to throw in there who's got the more tactile build and who can execute it as well. It's not just who can press all the skill buttons the fastest. You know what I mean? So I like the fact that it's going to be build based. No, I do.
Using kind
I
of
like that.
depends on you. You're going to be choosing between passives and active skills, and how you fill your hotbar is kind of up to you. So
yeah. One of the things we've said in the past, is the things that I've disliked, at least personally, about MMOs that I've played before is that, as you go through different phases of leveling, you have relevant skills. And then eventually, sometimes you end up with like a skill menu where you have half of them available, but none of them are relevant at your end game or higher level stages.
Yeah, true. Ain't nobody using quick shot
trying to
at
mitigate
max
that
level.
as
You know what I'm
much as
saying?
possible by making active skills capable of receiving additional skill point allocations and unlocking additional features, so that from a player agency standpoint, it's going to be up to you whether or not you want to be more diverse but less depth, right? Wider and not taller in some of these skill choices, or if you want to be very, very tall.
Like Dari?
That's going to be something that is up to the player in that regard. There will be multiple hotbars that you obviously have available because you're going to have consumables, you're going to have, active skills and whatnot. But the
all
number
my
of
mounts.
active skills,
No, I'm just kidding.
all your mounts, exactly. But the number of active skills are
Some
not
mount
going
fans
to
out
try
there.
to overwhelm necessarily the character and be kind of, irrelevant.
Oh, you know what I would like? You know what I would like, Nick, if you're still in the chat? You know what I'd like? So you know the way they said you can have multiple hotbars, so you could stack them, maybe like tier 1 hotbar, tier 2 hotbar. What I would, and then obviously Margaret there mentioned mounts, for example. People do literally have a hotbar full of their favorite mounts, right? They switch between them all the time. That's fine. What I would like, if it was possible, and in Lord of the Rings Online you could do this, I'm not sure about other MMOs, you could physically so hotbar 1 you'd have down the bottom, hotbar 2 would instantly come in here, but you could manually move that hotbar to any part of the screen you wanted. Obviously it would stay in the same formation of line, and you could also go vertical and horizontal, right? I would like it if they would change the opacity levels on there as well in the settings. So you could like hotbar 2 opacity 10%. That could be your mounts. You would have just a wee bit of, you could put it down the bottom right of your screen, you'd have all your mounts, but it wouldn't take up a big chunk of the screen. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the graphics of the actual mount buttons, you could have them like a 10% opacity, so you can barely see them, but they're there to be clicked if you want them. Do you know what I mean? So you can hide away little things, your potions and your pots and stuff like that. If you had like an opacity slide bar for the viewables on the docks, that would be nice. I would like that.
And I know it seems like most people are happy about the no add-ons, but in regards to UI elements and things like that, we're really trying to make them be, you can move them around, you can adjust them and things like that. So we'll try to, we want to give you those tools and make them be part of the system. And if you have, features that you'd like in the future, obviously like those things will take time, but when community managers are kind of taking in that feedback, we'll toss those over to the design team and they'll take into account what
Nick,
things
basically that. Either
progress. So
opacity bar
keeping that in
or
mind, we're definitely going to try our best.
the hidden until you hover over.
Very smooth for all of you.
From a UI customization standpoint, regardless of whether or not we open APIs or no add-ons, that kind of, we had a stance against that. But the UI,
they want to stay away from add-ons, Nick. For example, they're not going to have a DP as it stands right now. Obviously, a year and a half away, 2 years away, who knows? They might change it. As it stands now, they're not going to have add-ons like DPS meter to see who does most DPS, because they don't want it to be like a toxic battle of DPS in the game. But the only reason why I think they might change this, possibly, the reason why I think they might change this, maybe, is because they said in boss fights, dependent on the amount of DPS you do, depends on the chunk of experience that you get. So if you've got some new player barely attacking, he's gonna get less XP than the guy who's rapid firing everything and knows what he's doing, right? But then how do you know who's done the most DPS? Will it pop up in chat at the end? X player did X amount of damage to this boss. That would get rid of a DPS meter. You wouldn't physically need one. You would have it in text. how are you going to work out who's done the most DPS and who deserves the most amount of XP if you don't know who's, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, we'd have to see on that one. I can assume a UI mod would be out within a week of release. If you need one, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe you'll just get like 5 or 6 available to you, different like bars and like graphics around the bars. I don't know. Who knows? But they did definitely say no add-ons.
Implementation will be highly customizable, whether it be from resizing, a movement, a recoloring, different types of actual like UI flavors that will be presented and offered to players as well.
Almost exactly what I just said.
Have a very, very robust UI system. So we know that that's something that's kind of more personally oriented in people's kind of preferences rather than something that can be a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to move on to the next video, which is going to talk about more Castle Siege oriented things?
Ooh,
I do want to preface before we go to this video that, obviously we used some GM hacks. You wouldn't be able to like run around like we were and like, lose the mobs that easily.
Yes, and also I'd like to preface that the castle you see here is really intended for like what systems will be able to have online by Alpha 1 for certain Castle Siege testing.
Small.
We did, it's very small, so it's like maybe 1/4 of the size of an actual castle at launch, and there will be a lot more, inner corridors and rooms and multiple portcullises and gates and stuff like that. We have shown in the past a little bit of the destruction physics of castles, so you won't see that in this video. We're just kind of taking you around and talking a little bit about the castle system for especially those of you who are new and might not have received a lot of information about castle
sieges.
That's kind of what this video goes over.
If they nail it, if they get castle sieges spot on, this could be.
Hello, everybody.
Something that keeps people in the game.
Welcome to another video. We are recording here, not live. This is pre-recorded. It is Thursday, August 27th at 5:53 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am joined by Tiny Toast, the tiniest of toasts currently, and also by Leperzo, not Leperza, Margaret Crow.
I changed my character, and my other character's name is Leperza, so here we are.
So we just wanted to kind of showcase a little bit of the castle implementation. We're just going to take you over near the castle and talk a little bit about it. You are still on the Alpha Island, but we are hoping to get castles online for some activity in Alpha 1. We're just going to kind of run around and show off the castle at its current state, which is owned by NPCs because no players have taken it.
Wait, so initially when you take a castle, you have to take it from NPCs?
Yeah.
You don't just walk into an empty castle?
There's a few of them on the way.
Oh, are there some mushrooms?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Can we like cook them? Capture
Saute them?
That'd be awesome.
Ooh. We had stuffed mushrooms last night. I put it in the food channel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That looked really good.
It was pretty yummy. I like how you're on
Will
that
players
scale
be
runner.
able to create stuffed mushrooms?
The
That's a
scale
good
runners
question.
cracks me up. Well, the my you're on too is really funny.
Oddball.
Yours
Yeah.
looks
Doesn't
so
run.
majestic with its long legs, like a gazelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty
Meanwhile,
funny, to be fair. Oh, wow, Nick. Wow.
Your legs are so funny.
So up here you can see one of the castles, probably those of you guys who participated in the Apocalypse testing recognize this castle.
You'll get to that, Nick.
This is a bacon constructed castle. This is a little bit smaller than actually the size of the castles and how they'll actually be in the game at launch. But this kind of will be more facilitating smaller battles, I think, in Alpha 1. But initially, as probably most of you are aware, before players do actually take castles, they will be owned by monsters.
Yeah, innuendo.
So
it would look better. It would look better, but they're filming it in 4K. But I'll be honest, they don't. The video doesn't really seem to be rendering perfectly. So it's actually got like a bit of downscale on it. Do you know what I mean? In the sense that we're not seeing this video as good as what, for example, Steven would be seeing this on his monitor. I reckon this would look like 25% better on his monitor compared to what we're seeing it through this video. I think if they rendered it better a little bit, sorry, encoded it better, not rendered, sorry, encoded, I think it'd look even better.
Currently owned by monsters. And basically how it's going to work is guilds will be capable of signing up to attack these castles. And, you know, we've kind of talked a little bit about this in the past, but the guild that signs up to attack, you know, multiple guilds may do so. They're going to initially be fighting these monsters and killing a raid boss that'll be kind of in the center of the castle. And the...
I see your DMs, Nick, and I will get on it.
What we're thinking right now is that in order to initially take the castle from the NPC control, rather than using the normal ceiling mechanic that's cast on the center relic, instead the raid boss will be essentially killed by the number of players out there, and the highest contributing damage to the raid boss for the initial capture of the castle will be the determining factor for the guild. We're going to test this, obviously. You know, we have a couple of other ideas as well. The whole purpose of alpha and the betas is to test these ideas and see how they play out. Now, there's a lot of stuff outside of just killing, you know, the raid boss that's important to take a castle. There are objectives in the interior of the castle, specific waypoints that you want to capture, and this will aid kind of in progressing to the raid boss eventually. But let's dismount and see if we can head in. I know we're only 3, but whoops.
I believe in us.
Yeah, I think we might be able to.
We'll have to use some GM hackery probably.
Yeah, I think the 3 of us combined with the tiny might of Tiny Toast and the
that weapon looks pretty sick.
Staff of Luperzo.
Yeah, that stuff did look pretty sick.
I mean, you can see your reflection in my armor.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I love that
Pretty
armor.
majestic.
I like the little plume
Show
on
me.
top, actually.
Show me.
Take a look at that.
You can see a character reflection in the armor.
Cool.
Show
it's
me.
Like waving in the wind. The
Please show me.
Is a little messed up.
You're lying?
In the waiting.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right, let's head in.
That's where all your ideas come from.
Yeah. So you can see there, kind of interior. Like I said, this is smaller than what would normally be the castle size, but the relic is kind of exposed there. The raid boss isn't present at the moment. These guys are, they are elite mobs. So normally you would have a party, a full party, that would be fighting these dudes.
Yeah, but these are obviously scaled up just for testing. That's fine.
Yeah, these guys are strong.
So some of the skills look really good.
We are cheating a little bit, by the way, or at least I'm cheating. You can see the other party members have a few hundred hit points. And I bumped myself up.
I'll give you some mana.
Oh, nice. Did you give me mana?
Mm-hmm.
Now I give you mana.
Oh, the mana friendship.
It's going to take them a while to get in here if this is just one mob.
There's a lot of smoke. A lot of fire happening right now.
Yeah. Get 2 mages in here.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Let's switch into action. Or, actually, let's see. I'm going to train. I'm going to train the room.
It's trying to kill us.
Oh. I have a lot of hit points. You guys, let's see. Oh, no.
Oh, what is he going to attack by
Someone's on
now?
my butt.
What the hell was that?
There's like little flowers in here.
100% he's going to die here. 100%.
Okay.
Oh no, he reset.
These guys are always
Where'd you
set.
go?
I kind of ran into the center. I was seeing whether or not the
Ooh, I'll follow you.
boss had spawned yet. Where's the
Here I come.
Yeah, let's come with me. Another important thing to note, by the way, I think we need a full group for this stuff, but another important thing to note is, you know, during the siege, these gates will be closed, the portcullises will be closed, all of the walls are destructible, You guys have seen some of the destruction videos in the past, kind of how this stuff happens. But players will be able to come prepared with siege weaponry. They'll have trebuchets. They'll have...
how do you get in then if all the gates are closed?
Ladder things. What are those things called? I can't remember now. To towers, the siege towers that they can utilize. I'm just kind of running around out here.
We're trying to kill this thing.
Oh no, you guys are gonna die for sure.
Why didn't they GM max all of their health, not just
We're aiming
Stevens?
to have some of the basic castle functionality present for Alpha 1. Those of you guys who I don't know if we showed actually any of the castle siege testing in Apocalypse, but
He froze me.
oh, how did he freeze you?
I've been blocked.
Oh, he's an occultist.
He is. He's got some of the same moves I do. Throwing them back at me.
Like I'm liking this because you're getting to see a bit more combat action as well, and I don't have an issue with this. Like it was
It's a good thing I cheated and put my
it was a bit of a worry. People were worried about this game having crappy combat because it has some action element in there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not seeing anything here that I would.
What are some of the favorite sieges you guys have
dislike.
participated in the games you played?
Do you know what I mean? As an MMO player,
really loved,
I would not dislike this combat.
Warhammer Online's PvP and Dark Age of Camelot. Like both of those were probably my favorite experiences.
The only thing that looks a little bit basic, the only thing I'd say so far is there's not a lot of movement for this action / hybrid combat. It's kind of like stand still, throw your skills. Do you know what I mean?
Jump in and test.
There's not a lot of movement, maneuvering around.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. You've
Or
never
it might
done
have
large
been-
scale sieges?
Back in like, if we're thinking of Ragnarok Online, I think had some sieges. But that's probably the last time I did. So kicking it back old school.
We're in a circle around this thing. Ragnarok Online, yeah, that's pretty cool. I also enjoyed Warhammer Online. That was a great game.
Yeah, I didn't care so much for the PvE content, but the PvP content I really liked and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was. I liked the arenas that they had in Warhammer Online.
Yeah.
That was a
I
lot
hope
of
you can
fun for me.
physically go up those mountains in the background.
Their abilities
I hope that's a
worked and
part of the
stuff
map
like
that you can go to.
As a tank, I thought it was really cool how I could like take the damage for somebody else and stuff like that. It's really neat.
Yeah. Another important thing to note about castles in Ashes is that they actually no, we should be fake.
Def, welcome in, man. How's it going? Is it's the first pass of action combat? No, that's what I'm saying. I okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. I was saying like it was quite basic in terms of the movement of the characters. They're not moving around, doing so much. I'm not saying that's a huge issue. I'm not saying it's an issue, but that's the only slight negative that I've seen for the combat so far. Like I like the combat. It looks good. The skills look good. I'm sure they'll have more effects. I'm sure they'll add more sounds. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, they'll be bigger, they'll be brighter, they'll be better. I'm sure all that'll happen. I'm just noting the fact that there's not a lot of movement going on. That's all. But yeah, like you said, they'll build on it. I'm sure they've got plenty of time. 1.5 to 2 years probably before this gets released.
There you go. Let's go.
Ooh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Get close, smile.
Yeah. Another thing to note about the castles is they do
Too close, Toast.
have
Too
a
close.
lot of trophies for the guilds that manage to take them and keep them. As a matter of fact, the benefits for holding a castle actually get greater the longer a guild holds onto its castle.
Damn.
So each cycle, which is a 30-day cycle before it gets sieged again, the benefits of the castle get stronger. They exert control and pressure over the region, one of the 5 main economic regions they exert control over. They can levy taxes against the nodes under them. They can establish essentially the quote-unquote king's presence or queen's presence within the node system that grants benefits to the citizens that are under its rule. And they can have special relationships established with the mayors as well to help participate in kind of building up the nodes that spawn around the castle, these castle dedicated nodes. They're not tied into the structure of the general world node structure, but they're kind of dedicated to helping to build up the castle's defenses.
If there's going to be this many active nodes, there's going to have to be a lot of players per server.
So yeah, I hope you guys
or else you're just going to end up with like encampments everywhere and nothing else, you know?
To one of the castles that is going to be present in Alpha 1, and we'll see you guys back on stream.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
And to see what we've seen there.
All right. So it seems like y'all liked that and enjoyed it, and you got a little toast cameo in there. Sure as cracks me up. I know there were a few comments and concerns in regards to obviously the difficulty of that, because as Steven said, you're gonna have to like break down gates. You're gonna have to like kind of progress and push. It's not gonna be that easy. We're just kind of showing like
just to be clear, when we were running in there, so when the castle siege occurs, it'll be different than what you saw there. That's just kind of in its unowned state. If there's no owner, there will be little monsters, and you can kind of go in and fight on the off siege time when it's not siege time. Then when siege time occurs, guilds will have a week period of time where they can kind of register and come and attack. And during the 2-hour-long siege, that's when everything changes. The portcullises go down, the gates go down. You'll need siege weaponry. There's going to be
this is going to be pretty cool,
within the castles that you
I think this is going to be pretty cool.
If it's an unowned castle, it'll need to have a raid boss at the center that kind of gets fought for. Attackers can fight each other during that experience. It's going to be a contesting thing.
Wait, what?
Once the castle is owned by a guild, that's when the supporting castle nodes
several guilds
online and spawn. Each
could be siege attacking at the same time.
Siege.
How do you work out who gets
they'll have to form alliances. They'll have to get support. They'll have to get resources. They'll be able to allocate funds that have been collected through taxation in order to strengthen the defenses, as well as hiring additional NPC mercenaries. That.
How does that work?
So
let's say you've got guild A, B, and C, and D all attacking this unowned castle at the same time. How is it worked out who wins?
That are present.
The castle.
Yeah, and the AI is not finalized either.
Like it is, it's all kind of populated for the level ranges that we're going for right now, and only really populated for group content. These will actually be raid level stuff, so you're going to need really large raids in order to kind of take these things from the NPCs who live there, and then also contest with other guilds that are also trying to do the same thing. So it's not exactly representative. It's a good approximation maybe, but certainly is not going to be what the final thing is going to look like.
100%. And there may something that might not have been revealed previously, but each week leading up to the siege week, right? So it's a 4-week period of time that the castle is owned. Each week is a week that's dedicated to one of the 3 castle dedicated nodes. So around the castle, there are 3 nodes. They represent week 1, 2, and 3. And then the 4th week is the siege against the castle. Those can only be elevated up to stage 3. We've discussed this, in the past, and there's definitely information out there on the community ran wiki and other stuff. But what we haven't expressed is that on the tax collection side, castles do collect taxes from their region, which encompasses 1/5 of the world territory, and within those regions are nodes that spawn right naturally. And at the end of each week, there is a period of time on the weekend where NPC generated caravans from those nodes start moving towards one of the castle nodes. And during that period of time, it's incumbent on the owning guild and its allies, or even the citizens of the nodes that fall under its purview, to escort those caravans to the castle's dedicated one of 3 nodes. Those caravans carry the castle taxes. So the incentive to essentially attack those caravans as they move to
big gold gain here.
Castle dedicated nodes on the enemies of that guild are very high, not only because of the reward that you can reap in kind of sabotaging that tax collection, but also in destabilizing or reducing the defensive capability of the castle itself, because it depends on those dedicated nodes around the castle.
I like that. That'd be pretty cool. I could see people literally camping the living daylights
now,
out of that, though. Do you know what I mean?
Nodes that
going
fall
crazy,
under the
just
purview of
waiting.
the castle may not participate in the attack of those caravans. They are automatically
How do I hang on?
Registered.
How do I say your name? Is it Law? Just like straight up Law? Welcome in. How's it going?
The defenders of those caravans, and that's important because certain benefits. It's a
I butcher names all the time. I do apologize.
The castle and its
Law is fine.
nodes,
Sweet.
Essentially, there are benefits granted to.
Have you already seen this dev update from a couple days ago?
The longer that the castle remains in the hands of its incumbent guild, the stronger the benefits become overall. But at the same time, that represents a greater incentive.
Yeah, a greater incentive.
Because
yeah, exactly. If you've got some guild on your server,
more information, a little bit more information on it.
If you've got a guild on your server who's owned one of these castles for say like 6 months, everybody on that server is going to want that castle. Everybody. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be so much to yeah. I can see the incentive there 100%.
Commenting like, Steven really loves zooming all the way out with his camera. You can totally zoom in with your camera. You don't have to have it zoomed out that far.
That's true. I'm one of the zoom out MMO players. I know that there's a spectrum of people and where they live on that from a zoom standpoint, but I love seeing everything around me. And that's
Same.
Because when I played MMOs,
Same.
I used to have a large guild and we had large.
I like to look at the scenery in these kind of games.
All over the place.
So, yeah, I think for raids I always go max, but like for when I'm just running around and stuff, I kind of like give the cinematic zoom in, you know. But I noticed some comments in regards to that, so I just wanted to make a note of it.
Yeah, that's actually a conversation me and Steven have a lot, where hey Steven, is this camera distance okay? No.
Yeah.
More.
Must have maximum zoom.
And there was a question regarding like first person, like if you can zoom in.
Same.
Like,
right. We spoke about it. Right. I spoke about it a little bit before they then talked about it. So there was 3, wasn't there? There was passive, active, and weapons. I would like to see, because A, you're gonna, well, obviously A is passive, right? So B, you're gonna have your well, I presume your skills, but so there was 9 I counted 9 on active skills, but is that 9 a combination of your 2 classes? Because you can have a first class and a second class, right? Are you gonna have 9 skills total between the 2 classes that you can work on? How does that work? But they didn't explain it that much. Is there a total of 9 skills? I mean, sounds very limited. I don't think that'll be. Also, it's build based, so maybe you can only have 9 in your active skill tree. But then also you get the weapon side as well. What is the weapon side going to be? Because you've got your passive ones, which could be like extra bleed damage or, you know, extra fire resistance, whatever. They could be your passive ones, right? Your active ones are you cast this, cast that, whatever. But then your weapon skills, which they didn't show, do you get additional skills that you can level up based on the weapon that you're carrying? Or are you going to get like I don't know, you know, like some kind of big AoE hammer skill, you launch it into the ground, it does AoE damage? That's something that would be specific to a hammer, a 2-handed hammer, for example. Is that how it's gonna work? Second class doesn't add any. We know that already. Just lets you tweak how your main class. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. Sorry, I'm describing that in the wrong way, then, aren't I? I'm describing that differently. So yeah, I'm describing that in the augments. Yeah, I'm describing that in the wrong way. When I say like your secondary class skills, like, because they'll blend, right? That'll make sense. They'll blend. But yeah, I want to see how the weapon side works. Like I said, are you then going to get that double-handed hammer AoE skill that you can imagine would be something in there, like an earthquake skill? Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, is that going to be a thing? I'd like to know, but they didn't quite explain that. Maybe in a future video, maybe, unless I've already missed it.
I'm assuming we'll allow that as well.
You could zoom in, but you will not have the traditional first-person type animations where you see like your arms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you could zoom all the way into your character and get that kind of camera perspective from the eyes, but you're not going to get any of the correlating typical first-person animation.
So like, for example, if you were some kind of some kind of like ranger, what do they call healers in this game? Is it shaman? No. What do they call healers in this game? The main healers. It's completely cleric. So let's say you had some kind of ranger cleric. You could then maybe fire. So instead of having rain of arrows, you would have like a rain of arrows that rain heals slightly, maybe something like that. It would heal your allies that are within the AoE. I've not actually looked at the class, the actual skills exactly. I've not looked at them. I've not looked at any augments. I'm going to be doing that in the future on the wiki when it gets a bit closer to the time. But that will be something that's cool. If you're a ranger and your secondary is cleric or the other way around, you could fire an AoE rain of arrows kind of skill at the mobs. But then also, if you're augmented because you are obviously cleric secondary, for example, does that then add some healing for your allies? It's not allies within the AoE. That'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty cool. If that's how it works.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, so like similar to a lot of other MMOs out there.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've covered both of those. We still have a lot more to go through, and we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to swap us over. So there's going to be a weird screen situation for a moment. If y'all give me a moment for that.
Are we going to show the other one and have the audio with it too, or are we going to show it while we?
Oh, that will be later. That'll be during the character.
Oh, nice.
It's a,
Cool. Okay,
cool. Run a show, homie.
I'm sorry.
You're just excited.
I know.
I know. I want people to see the little turtle.
So the likes of like Def and Law and
so
you guys who are in here right now. Do you know the biggest?
All of the cameras,
you know the biggest annoying thing about this game is? Just try and have a guess. So Law, Def, Nick, try and have a guess what the biggest annoying thing about Ashes of Creation is in a one-word answer. See if you can guess what I think it is anyway. That sounds like a thing that a cleric augment could do. Lots of folks worried about how strong cleric secondary heals could be though. No, I presume they would be like 25%. They'd be about, if I had to guess, I reckon if you secondary as cleric, your healing skills would be roughly 25% of the effect of a main cleric. Not having Alpha 1, I mean, that's incredibly annoying, but that's not the game. It's not the game. I'll tell you what I think the most annoying thing about this game is. You're close with mentioned Alpha 1. It's the fact that we're getting all this information, right? We're getting all of this information right now. We're seeing all of this stuff, right? Alpha 1's about to come out soon. About 1 million streamers are probably going to get to play it, right? The biggest annoying thing about this game is, right? It looks like it could be so good, yet we have to wait so long, right? This isn't a game that is out in 6 months, okay? This isn't New World. This isn't Cyberpunk. This isn't any of those games that are literally due to be out in the next 6 months, right? This game, I'm guessing from what I've heard on the videos and stuff, is about maybe 18 months to 2 years away. That is frustrating, right? Boys, I'm going to be 30 by the time this game comes out, right? Maybe slightly older, maybe slightly younger, depending on whether it's 18 months or 2 years, right? I'm going to be 30 by the time this game comes out. I want this game to be here and now. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be here now.
Their cameras are so tiny. Their cameras are actually better quality than that. It's just because I'm screen sharing with them. We're gonna find a better solution for this for our next stream.
I hope so.
Promise. Hold me to it. I know Jalan will. No, I'm just kidding. I just like trolling.
Maybe
so first and foremost, we're going to talk a little bit about the Junior City Gate that you see here. And there's also a lot of little intricacies that we're going to show off in some other assets as well.
Law, all I'm going to say on that one is, listen, not that I'd be bothered, right? I think I'd rock the bald and beard look 100%. All I'm going to say is, see this here? There ain't no going bald anytime soon, okay? Sadly, because it would save me getting haircuts, right? And having to do this all the time when it gets a little bit too long. Oh shit, smash my microphone. When it gets a bit too long and I have to like push it around and stuff, right? I may have a dint in my head for my headset, but I can't go bald. I actually shaved my head full bald on June the 1st for charity. In a CMGG charity stream that we did. That I jumped on for a little bit. I shaved my head bald. We raised £100 more in 20 minutes, which was glorious. And it grew back. It grew back.
This first one is kind of like giving you the feel of what that gate is going to look like. This isn't even the whole city itself. But I don't know if you guys want to talk a little bit about that, and then I can show.
We will have Alpha 2. Or at least I'll be in Alpha 2.
Lamps and some of the props as well. And how those integrate with nodes as they progress, like level 1 to all the way to level 6.
Jeff, why is everybody telling you to put as much water in your mouth as possible?
I don't know.
It's because when you drink,
big Yeti, so I don't know. Maybe.
Oh.
It's because they can see like all the water slushing around in your mouth. It's weird. I don't know.
Like does he have like translucent lips or something?
I don't know. I think when he like laughs and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's probably harder to see because it's kind of blurry.
This is a concept piece showing kind of the architectural designs for the Junior Stage 5 city.
True, true.
This piece in particular is really focused on the outer walls. One important thing to note about the way that nodes essentially get established.
This looks dwarven, right?
Is
you reckon? This looks dwarven. This has to be a dwarven creation, surely. If you tell me this is like some form of elf, no. Or human, no. This dwarven. I mean, I know there's actually a dwarf guy here. Never mind. I've just noticed this guy here. There's a dwarf guy here. Okay.
We're now utilizing a platform system.
Yo, Busternet, how's it going? You playing Ashes when it's out? I won't be playing Alpha 1, which is due out in the next 2 months, 3 months. Tulnar. No. Listen, I won't be in Alpha 1, sadly. I didn't know you could buy this game or buy into this game 2 years ago to get into Alpha 1, but I will be in Alpha 2. We did a little donation goal, and I put all these sub money and stuff into it, so I bought it about 2 weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago now. So I will be in Alpha 2. Hopefully it is early to mid next year, hopefully. Junior.
As these nodes kind of get constructed in real time. And it's semi-procedural. Obviously, there's parameters that we set, and those parameters dictate the placement of specific buildings that adhere to the designs for both sieges, as well as the roads that exist and the location of specific services and/or merchants. But what that ensures is that every node
Law, thank you very much for the follow.
Unique appearance. It will be distinct to itself, and even if it gets leveled up multiple times, there's an opportunity there where the node platform design gets changed for each progression, so to speak. And this is great from an immersion standpoint, obviously, because you're not going to see cookie cutter type nodes you're not going to see cookie cutter type city layouts and node designs. It's going to be fresh kind of each time. And they're not going to be like, oh, this is every node's a rectangle kind of thing. They're going to be natural, immersive, looking like normal cities and stuff.
Yeah, and so this next one is kind of the lamps, and you can kind of see the progression as, it goes from, a town all the way up to, I think this is like Metropolis-ish. It depends, and there might be another stage in there, but kind of gives you...
No, you can kind of see the node 3 and 4 is like village and town. Node 4 to 5 is like town to city, and then node 5 to 6 is city to Metropolis. So you can kind of get a sense there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the designs though; they're pretty sick.
The next one we have here is also some junior braziers, not braziers.
Braziers, lol.
Brazier.
I know it's like a weird word.
Again, this is all just minor art stuff that they're showing us. I don't mind seeing this. Cool, you know what I'm saying?
Like the different progression and like the style and how fancier things get as we go up.
This is really kind of a testament to not just the concept artists on the team and their great job kind of showing off these ideas, but also to the environment team and just the sheer realm of possibilities that we're going to include in the game, from not just a architecture and building standpoint, but also reflected in the prop designs as well. So a lot of these props are going to not necessarily be reused. You're not going to see the same brazier present in the Metropolis stage as you would in the village stage. It's all going to be immersive and make sense visually as players see progression, because these are the central hubs.
See, with the things that they're talking about here, I can see why this game is going to take so long before it actually is out. Do you know what I mean? I can see why.
Present in those nodes that
just so much going into the game.
Visually aesthetic, but it also it visually makes sense as well.
Well, you gotta get fancy, man.
It's one of those things that the detail work really matters when you're trying to tell a story and trying to provide like a cohesive look to things, right? The details are really important, and so that's why we share these things.
True,
we're not just thinking about the overall.
Like I said, I don't mind seeing stuff like this. It's nice to see. It's nice to see how much detail. So I remember in Lord of the Rings Online, they went that much into detail. There were certain walls and certain statues and like that basically had no relevance in the game, in the sense that you didn't have a quest to go and read it, or you didn't have a quest to go and look at it. But it made sense with the lore of the films and the books, right? There will be, for example, it would mention a certain briefly in a book somewhere of Lord of the Rings, it would mention a small statue in homage to a certain person who died, and somewhere in the game you could go and find in that sort of in that city area, you would find that exact statue that they were talking about, and you could see the detail in it. Even though no quest told you to go and talk about it, it was there. So like, I like the fact that they're gonna go like so much into detail for like certain small sort of objects, if you like. I like the way they're doing that. I hope in this game, if the lore is good of the game and there's like a proper good story and like a good background and stuff, I hope there's like little Easter egg things, like even it's just some carvings on a random cave wall, but it makes sense in the story. And if you find it, you're like, yeah, that's about that they were talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd like all little things like that in the game. I don't like just like a blank nothing's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it's a completely different game, but you know DayZ, you play DayZ nowadays, every time you go to a new town, it's the same building pasted over in a new place, like the same police station, the same, you know what I'm saying, the items inside, it's everything's like just a copy and paste. This sounds like pretty much every building you're going to go into, every city you're going to go into, every metropolis, it's all going to look different, it's going to be kitted out different. It's just going to make the game feel incredibly fresh. And what I think as well is, because every single server is going to be built differently, like the nodes here are different, the nodes there is different, who's good, who's bad, whatever, right? I genuinely think, let's say you put a ton of hours into Ashes of Creation after it first launches, right, in the first, say, 6 months, and you get, you know what it's like, any game you play, you get, because you've like played it so much, everything's so familiar, you feel like it's getting a little bit stale and you're waiting for that new content. You know what you've got to do? Don't wait for that new content or get bored of the game. You hop on another server, create a brand new character, and it's all, I think, visually, if it works how they say it's going to work with the amount of nodes and all these kind of things, and what, like I just mentioned, I think visually jumping on a different server may slightly feel, or might medium feel like almost like you're playing a completely different game, like some kind of DLC, different maps. Do you know what I mean? The base map will be the same, but you'll have a city here which was never there. You're going to do quests in this place that were never there because in your server they didn't build it up properly. Do you know what I mean? So if you ever get bored of this game 6 months in or whatever it is, hop onto a different server, you know? Law says, I think we'll be finding Easter eggs for years because the no progression and lockout system ensures that only a small portion of available content is manifested at any given time. That's exactly what I'm on about. So once you've done everything on your server, or once you think you've done everything on your server, you can just create a new character on another server and you're playing like almost like a fresh game. I mean, the base canvas is the same in terms of like, you know, the general overall map is the same and stuff, but like everything inside of the map will be completely different. You know what I mean? Like imagine playing Skyrim, but then pressing like some kind of randomized button and all of the cities and towns and caves and dungeons just completely randomly spawned in different places, and you'd be like, yeah, it's like playing a new game, you know?
All big gigantic walls, but like we get down to like the real detailed stuff and think about like, what does a denier brazier look like? What does a denier cup look like? What does a denier table look like? So we're thinking about all of these things, you know, on a really micro level in order to tell this story. And
by the way, Law, and anybody else watching, this will be going up on YouTube probably tomorrow.
The next one we have here are kind of like a
if you want to see your name on a YouTube video, feel free to drop a sub.
Putting a lot of effort into like even the smaller little pieces that you're going to see on that front as well. So these are, I believe, the smaller
that would be a bookshelf
version. A little shorter. You can see the little dwarf there next to them as well for scale.
Got to make sure the dwarves can reach those books.
Yeah, they have to reach the books. Very important.
I don't know if they'll be able to get to the top shelf there.
True. How does the dwarf get to the top shelf? True. Yeah. True. Design flaw. Design flaw. Start again.
I always have to carry around one of those little step ladders.
Start again. How the hell are they gonna? Oh yeah, get step ladders. That's fine.
Oh, someone's like Maggie.
Put a step ladder in the room that this bookshelf was in. I'll let you off.
Toast. We're both shorties. And then the taller bookshelf is this one. So pretty. Even like the little details.
If I go into a single Dunia,
the shelves interlock with the
house. See these bookshelves.
The boards is really
and no mini step ladder somewhere located in that room.
That's very important.
Calling them out.
You know, to me, when kind of setting out to make Ashes of Creation, is not just keeping this high level perspective of, you know, these grand systems, but making sure that at the most minute detail point, that really this project is created to a certain.
What? Wait, Abstract Oblivion, welcome by the way. New World, obviously this Amazon game. made it to where if you switched servers, your other character gets deleted. Hopefully they don't do that, because what you was just talking about is a good idea. I mean, again, I've not played New World yet. I've signed up for the beta thing. I've just not bought it because I don't think I'm going to like it. I'm guessing, no, Abstract. I'm going to give New World a tiny bit of credit here because of my lack of knowledge. I'm going to guess they've done that because it's this alpha beta thing, and maybe there's like a limit on server spaces for the amount of characters. Maybe if they've given out keys to say 100,000 people, they don't want 100,000 people creating 25 characters. Maybe there's a database issue there, and that's why it will delete your other character. Maybe it's only out for a week, right? So maybe they only want you to have one character at a time. I'm gonna abstain from that one. But yes, don't do that. I've never heard of another game ever doing that. Okay, ever. So Ashes of Creation, please don't do that, because yes, you get a little bit stale in your environment. Boom, you jump onto a new server with you know what I'm saying, with a new character. Feels fresh, right? I'm saying
certain level of
that's my guess anyway. Abstract
of detail that is representative of the quality we
Cheesy
want
Dorito, sorry guys, for anybody actually watching the YouTube video and not just like listening to me chat rubbish. So the first time I seen anything of Ashes of Creation was in 2017-ish. It was either late 2016 or early 2017. It was a late night, I can't even remember now, but it popped up on a, you know, one of them generic YouTube videos, the 10 most exciting future MMOs. And I watched the mini clips. Obviously, it wasn't any footage back then. It was just like screenshots, and it was like ideas narrated by whoever the video was from. It was a good 3 years ago, I'd say. 3.5 years ago. And basically, the only one out of every single one in this top 10 future MMOs that I actually got some interest in was Ashes of Creation. When they mentioned the node system, it was quite brief, but they mentioned even back then, they mentioned how, like, depending on how much effort you and all the people you play with put into a certain area, builds it up. And I was like, what? I have never heard of this. I've never heard of a game where, do you know what I mean, you and all your mates, for example, your guild, you run to the very, very corner of the map, for example, which would be the corner node, and you just decide to set up camp there, quest there, level there, gather resources there. You build up your own city and town. I was just like, that sounds ridiculously good. And then that was the start. That was the start. But I obviously didn't have the money to back it on Kickstarter or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't, like, and also who knows? There's so many rumors back then of games which you put money into and then they just disappear and you lose all your money. I had no idea about Ashes of Creation or Intrepid Studios back then. Now, that's why I put my money in. I put my money in about 3 weeks ago. Bought the $250 package. But yeah, that's the first time I heard about it. You know what I'm saying? I've been following it a while, but obviously not weekly. So like I go in these spells when it comes to future games that are like years and years away. I go in like these spells where like I'll be hammering it, YouTubing everything, like searching everything I can to keep up to date for like a couple weeks, and then obviously there's not a lot of news going on, and then I'll leave it a couple months and come back to it again. That's kind of like where I'm up to now. Do you know what I mean? Chronicles of Illyria, that is probably one of the games. But I am actually quite gutted because, like I said, it was about 2017. Me and another streamer, we were playing Football Manager, and we were talking about it one night. We were talking about this game, and it's the only one that stuck out, and we've been banging on about it for years, but we just, this past like 2 months is when like the hype's built up a bit. Do you know what I mean? On a game where progression is almost endless, I don't think starting on a new server would be good. No. Maybe a new character. No, what I mean is, so obviously you can have, say, 5 different characters on 5 different servers, right? Obviously you can do that like any other MMO, right? Unless it's like Guild Wars 2, you didn't used to be able to do that because you would have server versus server wars, so you couldn't have characters on the other ones because you could be tipping off information. But like, what I meant by that is, right, imagine playing Skyrim, right? Cheesy Dorito. Imagine playing Skyrim. You've smashed through Skyrim 15 times from start to finish. You've done every dungeon, every quest, every city, every town, everything. I know you can mod Skyrim, but take that away because it's an MMO. Essentially, when you repeat Skyrim, you do all the same things over and over again. Whereas in this game, if you jump on a different server, because all the node structures will be different, this node doesn't exist on this server, but it's actually a Metropolis on that server, it's just going to give you that feeling of almost like a fresh game. If you were to be one of the people who play an MMO for 3-6 months and just find it a little bit stale, waiting for the new content, you get new content by just creating a new character on another server. You can come back to your old character later on. You know You know what I'm saying? You can do. I'm just saying, because of the way this game works, I don't feel like it would get stale. I don't feel like it would. At worst, you pop on another server, boom, you got a fresh new map to play with, and I just think it'd be like, shit, this would be pretty good, you know.
And immersion's a very important factor, you know, for myself and for the team.
Out of interest, has anybody in this chat ever pledged to a game that's never came out?
Experience is whole, is really from the bottom to the top. You know, players are going to be immersed in this world, and a lot of that immersion really can stem from these finer details that might in other games.
Samson's not,
but
hey, it's just opinions, cheesy, Dorito, you know, just opinions.
Part of that equation in creating an immersive experience.
Yeah, you might not notice it, but your brain does.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our character art. Do you want me to just go straight to the video? I was gonna have it last.
Straight to the video.
I was gonna do it last. We can
True.
go first.
I think this has come too far now.
Chat one video.
I think this has come too
I
far.
want the video, right?
This has come too far to not be released. I mean,
I'll
who
give you a
knows?
hint.
Listen,
it has to do with turtles.
who knows what this game's gonna be like when it gets released?
We'll
We can only hope it's gonna be a good game from all the effort they're putting in. What? What is this? What the hell is that? Is that a seat? Is that like gems? Is that like gems on the side of it? What is that? Best turtle? Oh shit, Squirtle use withdraw. Okay. Celestial. Look how much it. Wow. Hey, listen. Hey, they don't sprint. They don't sprint. It's a speedy boyo. I don't know. What is this?
Left your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
What? Stop using TeamSpeak. Who uses TeamSpeak in 2020? Yeah. Oh shit. What? Is this either a really small person or a really big boomers indeed, or a really big turtle? This is a big. I want this mount. I've declared I want the tortoise mount, turtle mount, whatever it's called. I want this mount. It looks insane. It also sounds like a real, like not my ex-girlfriend, but my ex-girlfriend. It kind of sounds like her when she's sleeping. Not good, bro. That's why she's my ex-girlfriend. Oh shit! Oh, this looks so good. Sassy says, "Wow, this looks so good." Oh no! Don't end it there. What?
Oops.
Oh, that's cool. We
That's
have very
romantic.
pretty little backgrounds.
Yeah, that's what
I feel like
my background is a star background.
I feel like that video 100% carried on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that video 100% carried on and was cut short. Watch now when it's about to zoom out. What?
Oops.
Did you
Oh,
buy an
that's
alpha
cool.
pack?
We have very
If you mean
little
me, yes. I bought the $250 one.
My background is a star background because obviously I love space and stuff. So that's
If anybody's thinking about buying it as well,
switch to the wrong scene.
feel free to use my Ashes of Creation
But I love
code if you want.
turtles, So I love that.
My link, feel free.
and
Oh, by the way, just that's a serious thing. By the way, I don't mean that for a profit thing. I've already got a couple of people who've actually bought into the game using my Ashes of Creation link. But what I know this is in the future, so feel free to come back and call bullshit on it in 18 months time. What I'm going to do with every single person who signs up to the game using my link and buys stuff and whatever, and then I get a kickback, which I've heard is 15%, which is actually pretty big. I've already decided every penny of that. I don't know what the payout system is, but every payout that we get will go towards in-game giveaways on the streams, whether it's we give you cash to pay for your monthly subscription, we give you, I don't know what, however it works out, I give you some form of skins of the month. I don't know, but essentially I won't be taking a penny from the money made from people who sign up with my code, is the point I was trying to make. But yeah, I got the $250 pack, so I'll be on it. Stratsy's talking about Leeds. That's this weekend. They might add it on YouTube. That'd be nice. Here we go. Tavern Side Gaming. As an FYI, you can't get that particular turtle skin anymore. But you can still get the turtle, right? You can get the actual turtle. It'll just look slightly different, but it'll be the same turtle, right? Right? I want that turtle. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to look like that. I just want that turtle. You can get different. Oh, what turtle would we have, boys? I want. Oh my days! Why am I talking about turtles in a game that isn't even out yet? This game's gonna ruin me. Normally, I'm not. Normally, I'm not a person who's interested in skins. But this game, you can get a turtle in game. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Well, because I thought Mr. Tavern here meant that I couldn't get a turtle ever because I didn't buy it at the right time or something. You know what I'm saying? I missed a message earlier on from Lord though. Stephen and Jalon don't ask Jalon about it. You'll get a dissertation on why TeamSpeak is the best voice. I know there's a lot of functions in TeamSpeak, by the way, but I do reminisce on the whole player left your channel, you know, like one of the, you know what I'm saying, new player. Like I remember all those voices, but like the old AOL sounds, you know what I'm saying, you have email, but in like a woman's American voice, not like my voice at all. But you know what I'm saying, I do used to like those sounds. But come on, TeamSpeak, bro, come on, Discord or go home.
Shell of the Ancients.
Shell of the Ancients, yeah. Shell of the Ancients.
Turtle Cavalry Assemble. We
year.
can get turtles, but with different colored bandanas, and we can be like that turtle. What's that turtle? Ninja Turtles. We could be like the Ninja Turtles. We could all have a turtle each, different colored bandana. Let's go. The lizard even looks dope. Most mounts in this game look pretty dope. That Advark or whatever that animal thing is with the anteater thing with a big nose. Even that looks pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Turtle Cavalry would be so cool. Just hear the thumping coming over the hill. Cosmetic skins are only used if you get the base mount by play. No, that's what I like. That's what I like. No, you're right. I remember now. So you have to earn, say, the bear mount, right? You have to do whatever you need to do in game to earn the bear. Then you can go and buy. Then I think you can buy these, right? You can buy the cosmetic to put on the bear. Change its skin color or its whatever it would wear, or you know what I'm saying. How does the skins come in play with the breeding system they have? True, not true, but good question. I don't know why I said true. Good question. If you breed a black bear with a brown bear, do you get a maroon bear? What does black and brown make? Let me Google what colors does black and brown make. What color does mixing black with brown? Black with brown. A warm black or a very dark brown? No, that was a rubbish answer. I thought it was gonna be like some kind of maroon. Never mind. Yeah, there's like bears. We were talking about bear mounts, and apparently you can breed them. And how does the coloring system work? If you breed a black bear with a brown bear, does it make a maroon bear? I don't know. I don't know. Probably some babies that are brown and some that are black. Oh, true, like pugs. Isn't this mad about pugs? Oi, oi. We got a new follow. Samson, cheers for the follow. Isn't it mad about the dogs pugs? You can get a black pug and a fawn pug. You mate them together. They don't make half black, half fawn pugs. Or a weird mix of color. They make only black pugs and only fawn pugs. How weird is that? That's weird, right? I think it's weird. Skins apply to certain tiers and are separate from mounts altogether. For example, if you have a bear mount, you can apply a horse skin to it. What? Some kind of horse bear? Huh? Some kind of horse bear? At Reveal Sama. Oh, damn, this guy is surely American. No country can be this. I'm actually not American. Don't ban that guy. I like his banner. Please don't ban him. I have sensitive mods sometimes. Tier 1 mount equals ground mount. Tier 2 is gliding and jumping. Oh, they have gliding mounts. I knew they had flying mounts, just I didn't know they had gliding mounts. That's pretty cool. So your cosmetic you can apply depends on the tier. Hopefully that helps. Oh wait, so you would apply the horse mount to your turtle to make it faster. You would apply some form of winged animal cosmetic to your turtle to make it glide. What does that make sense? Reval Salmon says, what does brown and black make? Well, I don't know. I've never mixed black and brown paint. It might make a bit of a, you know, you mix like green and brown makes purple, right? I don't know. Are you some kind of paint mixing expert, Mr. Reval Summer? Okay, get out of here, bro. I'm joking. But you know.
I think it was last year in one of the months. But it's always nice
I never majored in paint mixing colors, bro.
Kind of come online. You see, you know, from the modeling perspective to the animation.
Primary school teaching with Liam, next YouTube video.
Eventually,
not the TeamSpeak sounds.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's. You guys heard the TeamSpeak sound today. Yeah. So you guys get to see kind of that and really kind of understand the process and quality that goes into creating these.
I like you for calling me out, Reva.
Assets.
Yeah, and we'll have other turtles and other different mounts that are coming out. We're just kind of, we don't want to show off too much of the stuff that you haven't necessarily seen in that realm, because we want stuff to be some semblance of a surprise.
I hope there's some form of like, so you say the way you've got to like earn a mount. So I've seen this a lot with this with Asmongold and his YouTube videos in a minute, where he's been searching for certain mounts. You have to do certain content, PvE content within the game, for a lucky chance at an epic mount drop. Things like that I hope are in this game. I hope your YouTube comments are gonna, oh, true. You know the first video we did, by the way, of Ashes of Creation on the YouTube channel? Got over 1,000 views, got like 50 comments or something. Most of them are people like 25 minutes into the video go, bro, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, come on, be nice. But yeah, I hope they have some form of drops, epic drops that are incredibly rare. That's exciting, do you know what I mean? That's exciting.
Yeah, we have some cool creatures that are in the works that we haven't quite shared, but I think it'll be cool when people get to experience that in, you know, Alpha 2 when we swap over to the new creatures and things like that.
Hey, I see people in chat hating on
Takes
TeamSpeak.
time.
I will have you know, TeamSpeak's a very good app, and it has
It's very mature.
It's very mature. It has a lot of administrative functions that aren't present in I love Discord, but it has a lot of administrative functions from a professional standpoint that are best in kind of utilizing from a virtual office standpoint, and it's been very beneficial. We have Discord as well that we do, you know, activities.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And
that doesn't mean you use TeamSpeak in 2020. Come on,
space in addition
2020.
Slack, so.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
Camera stuff too. We have a whole slew of things that we use on our end for getting
Slew? She said this word a few times now, this Margaret.
Moving on to our next
a
thing
whole
here,
slew of things.
We have some Balloon leather that is made by
Slew?
Carson. It's not completely done yet, but we kind of want to show you the progress of things. So you can
What is this word?
I really love the style.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, the Balloon have a heavy kind of Middle Eastern influence in their culture, and you can see that.
I guess what it means, but I wanted the actual.
Carson's working on.
And then we have the Kalar robes here. I think we might have shown before of this previously, but now you get to see it with all the textures.
It says it's
obviously this isn't a T pose.
Oh, this is a slough. What the hell? I don't know. I've never heard anybody use the word
You saw
slew.
my armor when we were in game earlier.
Oh damn! I'm getting slight ring wraith from Lord of the Rings aesthetics here. Slight. I like this. I don't understand why you would have like some kind of heavy metal wrist guards, shoulder plates, belt buckle, crown, but then kind of what looks like a cloth around the outside, maybe some light chainmail. I don't know, is that chainmail in there? That's chainmail, I guess so. The only thing I don't get about this, this just doesn't look like it matches, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like it matches. Yeah, so is that plate armor or cloth armor? I'm not too sure. Maybe inside here it's chainmail, which would mean plate armor. But then why would you have a crown on if you're wearing plate armor? Surely you'd have some kind of full. I don't know. This is just like one design, right? I know. I'm being overcritical here. I don't know. I'm being overcritical.
How like the metal pieces like reflect and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think this set
Oh, slew.
is a level
SLEW. I went SLOO. Slew. Turn or slide violently or uncontrollably. Okay, apparently a slew, spelled SLEW. The noun is a violent or uncontrollable sliding movement. I'll just leave that one there. Many jokes can be made.
20.
I slew
set,
her.
and this
What?
is not.
You can mix
This is
and match
not
your
a
armor.
cosmetic.
Oh, really? What?
This is an in-game achievable armor set, I believe.
Yeah, it's a base look.
And then our next one here is made by Ali or Eli. The Aegis of Vigilance, and some of you might recognize this one. I think we had a fan that created this as well, which was cool. Like
I like that. That looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah. You know, one thing I love about these types of shields is just the sheer length, that kind of tower shield look. You know, I don't often see that in MMORPGs. They're kind of a large, piece usually for characters. But I think the way we have set up the character and animations.
I like this.
This is not made by a fan.
Abstract chase to the follow, man.
A fan made fan art of this shield.
Yeah, but this is the completed art. Excuse me. This is the completed
Official art.
official piece in game. So, what was the name of this shield? What was it called?
The Aegis of Vigilance.
Aegis of Vigilance.
I like it.
I believe that's how you pronounce that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The Aegis of Vigilance.
Vigilance, yeah. It was more the Aegis part.
French shield.
It's like Aegis. I don't know. It's like a weird word. Sometimes I look at words and I'm like, why are you spelled that?
Definitely Aegis.
And then Stephen gave a little sneak peek of our male dwarf here, but now you get to see the armor on the female dwarf. You can see how a little bit of the accoutrements are adjusted for the feminine form. And yeah, let's check it out. It looks great. This one is made by Jinsey.
Okay. That's not too bad. I wouldn't exactly call this like epic looking armor, but okay, it's kind of basic. It's fine.
We have amazing artists, so we just kind of like
It's fine.
love having them all share, a couple pieces of art that they're really proud of from the month. And obviously there's some stuff that we don't want to show yet, so stay tuned for some things as we progress. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for our dev update. We're going to move over to our Q&A next, and I think
Let's see what Twitch chat asks.
like have some of those like
Come on.
videos playing in the background.
Please don't be dumb.
Sure.
Please ask some good questions. Question number one.
I have
What does slew mean?
20 minutes before I have to do a hard stop. So
Okay. We'll try to get through.
as many as we can.
Try to get through at least 10 of them. So our first question here is from Archie McQueen, and just so you guys know, we do post a week before our live stream. We always let you know in advance.
Wow,
when the live
Nick, I'm
stream's gonna
5'11".
happen. So stay tuned on our
I
socials.
don't qualify
Follow us
as a
there.
dwarf
They're right below me right
or a
here.
dooner.
And we always let you know whenever you can submit questions. So got to get in there fast. But I know Toast
True fact.
kind of
I'm
randomizes
5'11".
it, so
I'm not
that
a dwarf.
no matter where you are in the thread, you might see your question.
Wait.
So Archie McQueen wants to know.
Nick, I'm taller than you. Can't call me a dwarf. How very dare you? Also, my beard isn't brown enough for a dwarf. Dwarves stereotypically have brown beards.
Now, in the aftermath of a node siege, when freeholds can be attacked, are these attacks only allowed for participants of the siege, or can other players come as raiders to lay waste to freeholds as well?
Good question. Good question.
In its current design, it is possible for anyone to attack the freeholds, not just the attackers. That might be changed. We'll see how testing goes. But at the moment, essentially what happens is the freehold becomes vulnerable for a period of time. And then after that period of time, there is a grace period extended for the freehold if it survives that vulnerable period. And that grace period could last up to 1 week, where if another node spawns at stage 3 or above and it falls under that node's zone of influence, the owner of the freehold can choose to undergo a quest /
Okay.
process by which.
So literally, people will get an alert to say such and such a
Our next question is
stronghold has been
Nixa,
attacked.
which
So
is,
they're just
does
gonna
the
all
camp-
go and get involved. So basically, every time you're under attack, you're going down. You're going down because not only is strong, Metropolis A attacking Metropolis B, anybody anywhere near Metropolis B is just going to get involved, right? So every time you're getting attacked, you're going down.
You're held in your bags, not equipped, lose durability when you die.
Ooh.
No.
Our next question is from King Yosi. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Sorry. Are artisan crafts and their progression affected in any way by race, religion, class, or archetype?
Ooh.
Artisan classes and their professions are not affected. That system is wholly independent of other character choices.
And then Yorkie wants to know,
okay.
Are there plans for level 50 to be a soft cap when you can still level beyond it, albeit it might it at a slow rate, requiring lots of experience? So like, I guess if you can like have overload experience.
No.
Yeah, there's not infinite progression in those systems. That would be a difficult thing to essentially
balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it is again. Here it is again. So passive, active. But this guy here. Okay, so they have 134 points invested. What is the maximum amount of points you can earn? And how do you get a point? It's obviously not 1 point per level because the max level is 50. Oh, they're only level 10 in this scenario, but the max level is 50, so there's maybe 1 skill point per level. How do you get additional skill points? You know what I'm saying? And how do you know what I'm saying? I want to know about this.
So, there's going to be...
Also, when we had expansions, people would just like auto level. It would be weird.
No,
well,
they
there's
wouldn't.
ways that you could restrict the progression to specific skill, components, but...
True.
Yeah.
She said true.
There's not infinite progression.
But we
questing, skill points from questing. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Most of the games I've seen, so for example, Guild Wars 2, you get like a skill point per level, but you can over level. So you can get to level 80 and then keep leveling up and leveling up. You still stay level 80, but you just hit level 8, and then you know what I'm saying? Every level, you then mastery drops like Guild Wars 2. Ooh.
We do have a lot of systems where there's still progression to be made, right? Where you hit level 50, that's not it. Like there's a lot of other
hero points, hero points
with and progressions.
Yes.
Religions and organizations and all sorts of other things that can give you augments, which can change the way your skills work and change the way your character kind of functions. So there's still a lot of stuff to chase after you hit 50. 50 is not the end of anything.
Yep.
Awesome, thanks, Jeff. And then Ventherian wants to know, when Stephen mentioned flight paths in his interview with Asmongold, was he referring to the scientific Metropolis's airship system or something else?
No, the Metropolis airship system is really a connector between other metropolises and or different regions, so to speak, that kind of helps to facilitate a faster travel point. The travel system I was talking about with Asmongold, that's more geared towards within a specific region. So you can move from node A to node C within region 1, right? And those regions are
good. I like that.
Exactly,
I like that.
Correct, yes.
That's pretty good. So you still get fast travel within your area.
Our next question here is from Ant Victus. And I think this is specifically, I'm going to preface it a little bit for you, Stephen, as well, is because you had mentioned that in PvP, you'll be able to identify a user user's class by an icon. So their question is, will each of the 64 classes have their own specific icons?
Yes, each class will have its own icon, and not only will you be able to identify by their icon, but you'll be able to hover over the user's nameplate, and it will give information such as level. You'll be able to see the quick buff icon for their gear grade and type, and then hovering over the nameplate will give you their class name as well, and it will show you next to that the combination.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
All right.
Yeah, the goal is to kind of communicate the archetype real fast, right? So you can kind of get a sense of, at a glance, what you are, and then more detail will give you the specific subclass. And then if you really want to dig in, you can go and get all that other information too.
Awesome. Zimzam wants to know, how do you plan to keep Ashes of Creation feeling and looking modern? 10 to 15 years down the road with its realistic graphics as compared to a more stylized look? A good question.
One of the great things about using Unreal Engine is that it has a lot of support from Epic, the creators of Unreal, and usually when they progress the engine to different updates, or an example, moving to Unreal Engine 5, right, they do so while keeping in mind that there are development studios such as Intrepid that are always trying to keep as up to date as possible. Now, obviously, it's not as simple as just progressing, engine versions. I mean, art itself is created specifically for the game, so it would undertake some effort on behalf of the studio during that time period to make changes to the art, to utilize different third-party tools to help in that regard as well. So it's always a desire of ours to make sure that the game is relevant and updated, and expansions and chapters are introduced that will add additional quality. I mean, if you take a look at other franchises and their games at start and to where they are 10 years later, there's subtle and sometimes significant changes that are made to the game in order to
so they're going to graphically, they're going to try and keep this game up to date.
Mechanics, and
All
Ashes
right.
will be doing
We'll
the same
see.
thing.
We'll see.
And our next question is from Worth, who wants to know, how will you ensure that explorative professions like animal husbandry and breeding won't be completely explored during alphas and betas? And I think we've kind of shown that in the way that we're doing Alpha 1. It's a little island. It is not necessarily the content that you're going to see in the game.
That's what. Okay, that's good. That's good, right? Because when I get to Alpha 2, right? When I get to Alpha 2, I'm obviously going to play the crap out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to play as physically as much as I possibly can to get a real grasp of the game. Stream as much as I can. Maybe create a couple YouTube videos as well. Explaining some of the things that we find. But what I don't want to do is play, say, for example, level 1 to 30 on 3 or 4 different characters, and then when the game comes out 6 months after that, for example, making updates, I then have to do the exact same content again. The only difference will be nodes, what gets progressed in that. So if they lock you away on certain islands and stuff and makes it completely different, I still want the game on full release to feel fresh and new. Do you know what I mean? The game is in full release, say 2 years. Surely new tech, except we wouldn't introduce. Well, they are. I know they're doing updates now. Strategy. So one thing they said before is that at the start of this video, they said they've updated their Unreal Engine from whatever 0.25 to 0.35 or whatever. Cause some bugs, but they'll fix it. So obviously that means that there's going to be a level of performance increased, which means it should be better to run on any systems. And then obviously maybe like a nudging graphical view and pleasure, right? Looking a little bit better. I don't know. I'd obviously like to see it. Because sometimes when you go back to an old MMO, you look at it and think, oh, if only just this had a spruce up. Do you know what I mean? And some MMOs have had that spruce up. Some haven't. Like, I think Lord of the Rings Online is still a 32-bit client. 32-bit. Enough said.
Talk a little bit further about that.
Yeah, so part of it is that I don't think there will be enough time to fully explore everything, right? A lot of our testing, especially in the early phases, are going to be really directed, specific tests. I don't know that we'll ever have, I mean, I guess when we get to beta, things will be open for longer and people will be able to explore more. But like there will be a limited set of content that will be available for that.
That's good.
That stuff will come online.
That's good.
As we get closer and closer to
I don't want to be playing the entire start of the game.
I mean, it's not going to be, you're not going to get the full
in Alpha 2, Beta 1, Beta 2, and then have to do it all over again
that are locked out
when the game comes out.
Come online as we, move toward launch.
Right, and to expand just slightly on that, like a lot of the components that go into creating the animal husbandry system are based kind of off of these data tables. And in order to facilitate the appropriate testing for certain mechanics that exist within systems, you don't have to have the entire variety of options available to just, let's say, for the animal husbandry system, to see every type of combination in order for us to test whether or not that system is working as intended, right? So as Jeff was saying, we can disable a lot of those selections. That'll be a universal theme across some of the systems in order to protect against that, guard against that. Like, I've experienced everything, and this game is now, essentially launched in beta. Our desire is to test, everything as much as possible, but we can do so while limiting and mitigating as much as possible the exposure experience.
That's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I want as well.
Well, different archetypes and classes have different quests connected to node sieges, playing into their strengths. Example, a rogue stealing battle plans.
Ooh.
That is a thing we've talked about. I'm not entirely sure because we kind of need to have those quests be equitable. But it's a thing that we've talked about and we think would be really cool to kind of give you that sense of like, oh, I am infiltrating this node. Oh, I am trying to gather, intelligence on this node. Oh, I'm trying to, and whatever it is you end up doing ends up unlocking the siege. But at the same time, that does need to be an equitable thing across all classes. So kind of how we do that is up in the air right now.
All right.
Okay.
And our next question is from Sent, which is a funny name. They sent us a question. Can I keep a house cat in my freehold? And I guess we haven't really talked about like pets in your house.
Why is there always cat lovers everywhere? Why does everybody like cats?
Like
That's such a pointless pet.
It's definitely not something that's outside of the realm
do
of
nothing, bro.
It's an easy thing we could potentially implement. I'm not sure if that's necessarily. I know I remember talked about having children on a household that would just sit there and do chores.
What?
No, Steven.
Ain't nobody.
And then if the household gets burned down.
Ain't nobody want kids. Come on. Think about the demographic of people who play MMOs, right? Or people who play this MMO. You're gonna be one of two people. You're gonna be people who have time to play the game, i.e. you don't have kids / want them right now. Or you're gonna be in your 30s and 40s, maybe even 50s. You've had your kids, they have grown up, they have moved the fuck out, and now you're reliving your childhood / midlife crisis, and you're back to playing MMOs. You don't want fucking kids in this game. Come on. Some people like a small animal that displays its butthole when it senses you're lonely. True. I don't know who those people are, though. They shouldn't do it. Wizzy, welcome in. No kids. I agree. I don't want kids in this game. I mean, the closest thing to kids in this game you should have is the family system, where you'll be like, this character is my son, right? But that's not going to be a physical child. You know what I'm saying? You don't want a child / pet. No. No.
They get sent to an orphanage and you can reclaim your child. But
what?
No.
No. Delete that idea from your brain.
Oh, it's totally possible.
No. Too much. Too far.
On the freehold, that's just something we have to scope out. But it shouldn't be too difficult to set up.
No, you know what? You know what? With things that go on in these days, don't put children in this game. There will be several dickhead people out there who name their characters Epstein, and you know what they will go around doing. They should be banned for it, but it's not the point. They will do it, okay? Do not allow children in this game.
It's on the freehold.
It's not needed.
There's a slot available.
Pets,
yeah,
okay.
Have your pets. Figure it out. Do you have time for any more?
Tamagotchi.
I think we can do one more, and then we'll probably do the sign-off stuff.
All right. Our next question then will be from Jalan, which is, do freeholds, since we're talking about freeholds, do freeholds take on the appearance of the predominant racial architecture of the node, like in-node housing does, or are they based on the owner's racial appearance or choice?
They are based off of the blueprint's appearance or choice, and then the blueprint, the building itself, can also have cosmetics applied to it based on the type of building and the available cosmetics the character has.
Yeah, and you'll have probably, you'll have different buildings on your freehold.
So you could be a you could be a Dunir, which is like a dwarf, right? What are the elves called in this game again? I'm really bad at remembering these names. I'll get better as we go along. You could be a Dunir, but create like an elven styled house if you have the elven styled blueprints. I mean, I suppose if you're a dwarf, you want to live in an elf's house. Hey, bro, you can't reach them top shelves though. Nick will pre-order this game now. Gets what? True.
And be able to put different cosmetics on them based on what type of building they are.
Yeah, the way we look at it is the freehold is your space, so we want you to be able to make it look the way you want it to.
I mean, that's fair. Listen, awesome. Hey, Wizzy, that's fair. You could be a dwarf, a Dunir character, and you want your, house, your player house to look elvish style. That's just what you want. I think that's fair. That's fair. 100% though, they should let you put physical items on top of shelves that you then can't reach, and you need to bring an elf friend down to grab it. You know what I'm saying? I have no use for the alpha access. Nick, I have use for your alpha access to a different game. Feel free to send me the login details, please, because I ain't getting no emails back, bro. Okay. That was a good question.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today.
I just lost.
Yep.
Human.
Switching us back.
Oh.
Big screen. So thank you all so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed all of the content we tried to cram into.
It was good. They showed us some good stuff today.
Dev updates. Just as quick reminders, we have a new dev discussion coming up, so definitely take part in those. Again, these help the dev team extremely. Again, you know, we do put reports together on the forums in general, but in regards to specific things they're looking for feedback on, these are the things. So if you really want to have a say and you know, provide your suggestions and your feedback on the game, definitely putting your opinion in those is going to be very, very helpful for us. Our monthly cosmetic swap over is happening on September 2nd, so stay tuned for the next set. Steven did link a couple little pieces if you go find them out there. And then of course we have some cool coloring book pages up there. We've loved seeing everyone's art that they've done with the coloring.
I thought it was a physical coloring book.
And of course follow us on all of the things. We'll have this video up on our YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe to us there. Sometimes we upload other videos. We'll also highlight this on our Twitch if you're following us on Twitch. And you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all kinds of goodies. I think we just hit 50K on Twitter, which is amazing. So thank you guys so much. Like,
Wizzy.
You know,
Wizzy, this was, let me put some music on in the background now that pretty much this video is finished. There we go. Right, so this video was from the August the 28th. So it's the most latest one. It's like 2 days old, right? Yeah, from Friday. Sorry, 3 days old to Monday now, right? I keep forgetting what day it is. All I know, Wizzy, is if you go, well, I mean, I'll show you now. If you go to the YouTube,
it's been amazing.
You can literally see all of the monthly uploads that they've been putting in there. Do you know what I mean? And as you can see, this isn't a scam game. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a scam game like some of those are the ones you've heard of in the past. What was that one you're on about? AOCLiamH or something, Nick? Where people have put money into the game and then you've heard nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you look here, they update every single month. Do you know what I mean? They update every single month. And then also as well, they do additional things. They do like additional like uploads. Like the Twitter is really active, the Instagram's getting a lot more active. There's also I hate YouTube for showing you who you subscribe to. Oh no, why can't it put you in like order of alphabetical? Do you know what I'm saying? Here we go. See, and there's also loads of other creators as well, like people doing like podcasts and stuff like that. So the Golden Feather, for example, I am due to go on the Twitch live podcast. I have to double check the dates. It's in September. I think it's the 12th, maybe. Let me double check in the Discord. Let me double check. Okay, yeah. So on the 12th, I'm supposed to be going on their podcast, and they have a very good podcast. They get a couple hundred viewers every time they go live, and they talk a lot about the game. Sometimes they get some of the official people on as well. Like Margaret was on it last week. Which one was it? That's 4 months ago. Was it the 1 week ago? Was it this one? It was one of them anyway. Recently, I've seen it, and it's pretty decent. So I'm due to go on there with them, and there's loads of people like creating these podcasts and stuff, and all different things. There's a lot out there to watch. You know what I mean? LiamH on a podcast, you'll love to see it. You know what I'm saying? I started